Welcome to Star Citizen and the 100% Quantainium mining guide. In this guide, which is aimed at advanced miners, we will go into all the modular areas that will enable you, solo or in a team, to mine Quantainium effectively and in a specialized way, thereby creating one of the most lucrative sources of income in the verse. The timestamps will take you directly to the areas that are of interest to you. We start with the most lucrative method, solo Quantainium mining with the MISC Prospector. And you can find all the prerequisites for Quantainium mining in the detailed XXL ship mining guide here in the channel. We strongly recommend this guide, especially for beginners in mining, as Quantainium is much more difficult to mine and represents the current final stage of mining. You can also download our free XXL PDF mining overview with all data and information about lasers, modules, gadgets, prices, locations and much more. We start with the equipment of our prospector for Quantainium mining, as well as a quick fix for a current shopping problem. Because in the shopping terminals, it can happen that a whole category are not shown to you. To work around this, select the visible category and then press the mouse wheel, after which you will be shown all other categories, such as utility for mining accessories. Our recommendation for solo Quantainium mining is a lancet laser, as well as 3 times the level 3 Vox module. At 83,500 alpha aUEC, not cheap but very effective for Quantainium. And we find this currently clearly most lucrative resource for the solo prospector most quickly and effectively in the Argo asteroid belt. And since this huge asteroid belt can be found throughout the Stanton system, it is up to you which starting point you choose for your mining operations. In the PDF mining overview, you will find all the distances from the refinery station so that you can jump out of the quantum flight at the right time. This way you will reach the belt safely. As an example, here we see the distances from the station Crew L1 to the various possible target points to reach the belt. If you leave the quantum flight within these distances by holding down the B key, you will automatically land in the belt. And there we quickly find the degradable material we are looking for, whereby we can recommend the extensive special guide on the subject of radar scanning and ping. Because we are not looking for just any material, but Quantainium. This can only be found in Q-type asteroids in the belt, so we leave all other scanner hits to the left. Once we have found a Q-type asteroid, we scan the Quantainium content, whereby it only becomes interesting from about 30% Quantainium content. This amount is then sufficient to fill at least 80% of your cargo with Quantainium in order to make effective gains. And at this point, we would like to point out once again that you can find all the details on the basics of mining resources with ships in a dedicated and step-by-step XXL mining guide. For Quantainium, you should already have some experience, as this material is one of the most difficult to mine and transport, and above all has a time component with a timer. Before we break an asteroid, we first scan all the other asteroids in the immediate vicinity, look for the one with the highest Quantainium density, and only then quickly start the mining process. The aim is to break open all the stones before we bring the first Quantainium into our hold. In this way, we buy ourselves a maximum of time after the timer, which then starts at around 15 minutes and only begins when we collect the stones. But be careful, even rocks that have already been broken up and are ready to be collected have a timer that lasts several minutes. If you wait too long, the Quantainium will also become unstable and will be lost. This is why planning ahead is so essential for Quantainium. However, it is possible to extend the stability timer for your hold by collecting fresh Quantainium. The time is then recalculated as a percentage of the amount collected and the cargo already present, which can buy you a few seconds. But more on this in the team mining section. As soon as we have filled our cargo hold with at least 80% Quantainium and there is no other high-grade deposit in the immediate vicinity, we go directly to the next refinery station. In the active mining mode, we can check our timer at any time, which tells us that we have about 10 minutes left when a yellow warning light and a warning signal indicate that it is time to head home. However, this is not a problem for our mining method, and this 10-minute warning should only start shortly before landing at the station. When landing, however, you should be very gentle and careful with your cargo, as it can otherwise be lost as well. And by storing your ship, the timer will end and you will have all the time in the world. And so we proceed in a relaxed manner to the refinery deck to begin the highly recommended processing of our raw Quantainium. Direct sales should only be considered in absolutely exceptional cases, as we would only be able to generate a fraction of the profit. And also to the deep refinery system, you will of course find a dedicated guide which introduces you to the different methods with the corresponding advantages and disadvantages. In any case, we use the Deutsch solventation method for Quantainium for maximum yield at minimum cost. And especially when we plan several mining excursions, this very time-consuming method lends itself. Per excursion with the Prospector, we have to plan between 15 and 30 minutes of time, since the finding of a corresponding asteroid is the actual time factor here. As a tip for the search, should you not be able to find a Quantainium asteroid within 10 minutes of the search, jump a little further and start the search again. It can also happen that you are unable to scan asteroids if you have found one. In this case, it is usually not worthwhile to search for a solution for a long time, just fly straight to the next stone. In 17 rounds, our average time to find a suitable stone was about 13 minutes. The average content of Quantainium in Q-type asteroids is fortunately usually above 30% to just below 50%. And from a mass of about 4,500, a single asteroid is usually already enough for a full load. What you need to bring along for high profits, however, is some time and patience, as the refining process alone takes a little over a day, and afterwards you have to transport your material with a transport ship for a sale. You then have to ask yourself how much risk you want to take, how many Quantainium you want to transport at once. We recommend a maximum of 2 or 3 loads for the sale. This keeps the risk fairly low, and the profit is high at 500 to 750,000 alpha UEC.
24 hours later.
So we load up a transport ship of our choice and set about selling our hard-earned resources at the highest possible profit. The choice of ship depends on how many cargoes you want to transport at once. With 3 almost 100% Quantainium loads of a Prospector, you will have a cargo capacity of about 90 SCU, after which the Argo Ref, the Constellation Series or the Freelancer Max will be sufficient for the transport. You can sell your cargo at any trade and development center or in the central business district, in the respective trade centers of the main planets. Especially with larger cargoes, it is also advisable not to take that direct route from the refinery station to the planet, as pirates like to wait on these routes, take you out of the quantum and blackmail you. If you are destroyed directly, it was definitely not a pirate, but rather a 12-year-old wannabe PvP joker who was allowed to go for a spin with his dad's account. But as soon as you landed safely, we'll store the ship again and head for the trading center. Because we have our very personal and hard-earned gift in our luggage, which we can now exchange for hard currency units. And at 520 to 750,000 alpha UEC for 30 to 60 minutes work, you can dare to dance a little.
Just doing what I'm made for. Just doing what I'm good at. Just doing what I'm made for.
But let's move on to the multi-crew variant, team mining with the Argo MOLE as well as optional spotters or scouts. May I introduce a part of the mining section of the Royal Retirement launch. Thank you for your support. The team consists of 4 MOLE crew members plus 2 scouts. Our recommended equipment for the MOLE is 3x Helix 2 lasers, as well as a mixture of Rieger, Vox and Focus modules, which is not exactly cheap, but cheaper equipment variants are also sufficient for Quantainium mining, although not quite as effective. In contrast to the solo variant, currently only the Moon Lyria comes into question for a MOLE crew, on which very extensive and above all large Quantainium deposits can be found. A trip to the belt is not worthwhile here in comparison. In addition, it is highly recommended to take at least 1 scout in a more powerful ship for the reconnaissance and search for the corresponding occurrences, who can take over the defense against pirates if necessary, or shown our 12-year-old Joker his limits. Without a scout, efficiency drops significantly, which is why a scout, even if paid, is always an advantage. This way, suitable occurrences can be tracked down very quickly, even before the arrival of the MOLE, which means that we can completely fill the 69 SCU cargo capacity with Quantainium in about 54 to 60 minutes. But here too, it is important to start a new round with a less than full cargo if necessary, in order to keep the efficiency as high as possible. For in comparison to solo excursions, the entire crew as well as the scouts must of course be paid with the cargoes. The interaction of the mining crew with the pilot and the scouts is not only a challenge, but also a lot of potential for fun and shared experiences. The profits are also very respectable with the MOLE, but still below the possible profit margins of individual prospector crews. However, beginners are also directly able to join an experienced crew to make the contribution and to participate in this gameplay area even without their own mining ship. So our tip, feel free to drop by for a mining round at the Royal Retirement launch in the Discord or actively search for one of the numerous other mining crews. But of course, it's nicest with us. Due to the 3 mining lasers of the MOLE, different bonuses and effects can be combined, which not only applies to the lasers but also to the modules used. This makes it possible to use equipment that is adapted to different working methods and preferences. And another tip for advanced miners: if the owner of the MOLE is flying a scout ship himself, he can arrive at the refinery station at the refining terminal before the MOLE arrives, which increases the effectiveness by several minutes and minimizes any time problems due to a Quantainium timer. Here, too, we always use the Deutsch solventation refinery method, which takes the longest but is the cheapest and most effective, which ultimately maximizes our profit. Because we have to fly to sell with every method, no matter how fast it is. Loading and transport is analogous to the solo variant, whereby with refined Quantainium no timers or peculiarities need to be observed. Between 2 and 2.5 million aUEC can be degraded per hour with the MOLE and Quantainium. However, the profit for each individual depends on the size of the team, as well as the costs incurred, after which it is naturally usually lower than with the solo variant. The profit is realistic 520 to 560,000 aUEC per hour with the Prospector in the belt, which is the maximum that can currently be achieved with mining. Here the maintenance costs are also low and there is no profit sharing with the crew. A good MOLE team consisting of at least 5 people achieves on average between 2 and 2.5 million aUEC per hour, which corresponds to about 400,000 aUEC per person. However, the safety and of course the fun of the game is much greater here. I hope you liked the video and leave me a like and maybe even a subscribe here. Mining is still a very lucrative way to earn a lot of UEC very quickly. The requirements are low, especially with the Prospector, although you should have some experience with mining ships. With the mole, we have a lot of fun and the multi-crew factor, which should not be underestimated. In any case, mining is very challenging, exciting and rewarding. With the upcoming mining gadgets, it will become even more interesting, especially for the prospector. But as always, I'm interested in your opinions on the topic. What do you think about the Quantainium guide? Feel free to let me know. But as always, the most important thing at the end, a big thank you to all supporters, whether Patreons, channel members or Twitch subscribers. Without you this wouldn't be possible and you are an enormous motivation for which we would like to say thank you, you rock! And of course there will be extensive and top-notch giveaways from the best partners and us again this month. You can find how to take part and what to expect in the following announcement trailer. Good luck! I say goodbye, until next time, see you soon, and as always, see you in the verse.
I feel it getting close, I feel the joy in the air. Everybody's going home to the people they care for the most. And I'm on my way, 'cause you're my happy holiday. Na, 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 na. You're my happy holiday. Na, 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 na. You're my happy holiday. I feel it getting close, I feel the joy in the air. Everybody's going home to the people they care for the most. And I'm on my way, 'cause you're my happy holiday. Na, 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 na. You're my happy holiday. Na, 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 na. You're my happy holiday. Turning down our road, I'm like a kid again. I can't wait to see all of my family and all of my friends. And I'm on my way, 'cause you're my happy holiday. Na, 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 na. You're my happy holiday.